Guys, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling here. Really appreciate you guys watching the video this afternoon, and just heading over to get Elijah at daycare right now. I wanted to kick out the video. Today, what I want to talk about, it's a little bit of a rant. I want to talk about the fact that how it's getting to be no fun to fish hardly anymore a lot of the year, specifically this time of year, because there's just so many dang tournaments piled on top of everybody. So I'm going to give you guys some thoughts on that. I'd be curious to get your guys' feedback real quick on it. But anyway, before we get started, just want to remind you guys, if you guys are going to be going fishing this weekend and you need anything, just the cutting edge tackle, rod, reels, whatever, just I'll include the Baitworks link in the description. It's one of the greatest places you can shop for your fishing tackle at. It's a great way to support the channel if you use that link in the description. Also, I'll put the Block It Old School Jig link in the description. You can get those at Baitworks. That's a great way to support what's going on here. Okay, guys, this is what I want to talk about. It's actually we had a open house at Boatworks today. We got talking about this, and specifically, and this is going all over the country, but this weekend at Table Rock Lake and last weekend, like at Table Rock Lake last weekend, there was a 600 boat KVD big bass tournament. There was an Anglers in Action tournament. There was a big college tournament and a high school tournament, all going on at Table Rock Lake at the same weekend. Literally 1,000 boats on the lake. And then at Grand Lake, I was down there yesterday for an on the water lesson. There was a 600 boat tournament going on during the week. There was another 200 and some boat tournament this weekend that guys are practicing for. So there's a close to 1,000 boats on, just in tournament boats on Grand this weekend. Guys, this is absolute just stupidity. It's like the people responsible for this, whether it be the Corps of Engineers, whatever GRDA, whatever lake officials, the Chamber of Commerce's, the city managers, the cities themselves that are responsible for putting these dates together as far as when the tournaments are going on. They are doing just a terrible job at it. It's irresponsible, it's greedy, it's absolutely ridiculous. And what they do is they're getting any more where they don't turn anyone down. If somebody wants to have a tournament on the lake, it's like the more the merrier. They could care less about the safety issues. They could care less about what it's doing to the fish. They could care less about what the tournament anglers have to fight to have a place to fish. And it just becomes no fun. It's like when I was down there at Grand Lake yesterday, I'll give you guys an example. There was a series of like 5 big coves in a row, like, you know, more like little creek arms, something like that, where I like to catch them at this time of year. I went to every one of those creeks trying to get in there to find a place to fish, and there were literally so many boats in every single cove and cut. I couldn't even pull in there to fish. I had to just drive past all of them and just keep going, looking for some place to fish, because there were just boats stacked on top of boats, one into the other. And I don't know what the deal is with it. It's like it's gotten worse now than I have ever seen it. And it's totally the fault of, well, it's a combination of things, but the main thing, it's a fault of the people that are responsible for scheduling these events. And there's not one entity that's responsible for that. Some of these people have to have the permits issued by the Corps of Engineer or whatever agency is in charge of the lake. Some people have to go through the Chamber of Commerce, the city planners, the city. It's just every lake's different as far as getting the authority to have these tournaments. But the problem that you have on that is most of these people that are responsible for this are just completely inept with their job. They don't know how to schedule. They don't understand what fishing pressure does to the lake. And here's another problem you have with it. Say, for example, somebody says, okay, we're going to schedule this big tournament on Saturday, and then we'll have this other big tournament on Sunday. What they don't understand is prior to that, up until the days leading to that, and even the days of like the Saturday tournament, the other tournament is out there practicing. So just because you have dates scheduled on different days does not mean the lake is not getting just thrashed and hammered by people practicing, let alone the weekend recreational fishermen. It's begotten to get out of hand. It's affecting the quality of the fisheries that we fish. There's safety issues involved. And the fact that it's just frustrating for everybody involved in it. Everyone that fishes the tournament what fun is it if you try to get a tournament, go to a tournament, and you can't get on a point, or you can't get to the back end of the cove because there's a boat there? That's no fun for anybody. So what we have got to start doing, and like I said, it's so hard to do because there's not one agency that controls it, but these people, and I'll use the example of the city of Grove, Oklahoma at Grand Lake, because they're one of the worst offenders of it in the world, is the city of Grove, Chamber of Commerce, the GRDA. They have got to get together and say, look, we are not going to allow but one tournament a weekend here. You know, if this tournament is over like 150 boats, we're going to stop scheduling these big giant tournaments on top of each other, back to back, where these guys are practicing on top of each other. We're just going to stop doing it. But obviously that's a fantasy world, because, you know, so much of this country is controlled by greed and money and that type of stuff, and that's what you're talking about. There's nothing involved in this particular permit issuing situation except trying to generate more money. They could care less about the quality of the fishery. They could care less about what it's doing to the future of the fishery. They could care less about what guys have to go through to find a place to fish. It's just a cluster, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, just wanted to rant about that a little bit. If you get a chance to, you know, talk to the people that are responsible for scheduling those tournaments, tell them to start acting like adults and stop acting like a bunch of greedy money grubbers with these tournaments, because it's not doing anybody any good. So anyway, rant over, guys. Hope you guys are having a good day, a good weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you.